Buffalo Bills may not be done adding to this wide receiver group, and you could see this article stating that the Bills given favorable odds to sign former NFL Offensive Player of the Year, three-time Pro Bowler Micheal Thomas, and I think this is an ideal fit for Micheal Thomas and also the Buffalo Bills. And one reason behind that is because of the Buffalo Bills signing a quarterback coach, Ronald Curry, this offseason, who worked with Joe Brady in the New Orleans Saints for 2 seasons. And sure enough, Ronald Curry coached up Micheal Thomas to actually set the NFL record for the most receptions in a single season. And you can consider him being paired with Josh Allen during this time. I mean, he didn't really have much going on there in New Orleans. We could see that Ronald Curry is reuniting with Joe Brady, who also worked with Micheal Thomas, and why this is such an excellent fit. And really considering all these things, Micheal Thomas really is more similar to Keon Coleman, our young rookie, than Curtis Samuel, than Khalil Shakir, right? Even Chase Claypool is a little bit bigger and slower than Keon Coleman. I think Micheal Thomas really is very similar to Keon Coleman, and my point here is that Keon Coleman is definitely going to learn from Micheal Thomas if he does come to the Buffalo Bills. And again, we know some concerns here with Micheal Thomas. I know a lot of people are like, maybe we shouldn't do this. Maybe the Bills can ignore the Micheal Thomas rumors and that he's too injury prone and that he's not going to be good for the Buffalo Bills. But when you consider that Micheal Thomas had the best seasons under Ronald Curry, and that Ronald Curry is now here with the Buffalo Bills, as well as paired with Joe Brady and Josh Allen and everything that comes from this, I really think Micheal Thomas, working in a rotation, obviously 31 years old, he's a little bit older now, he has been a little bit more injury prone, but we could rotate him in, and as well as the veteran leadership that he's going to present to Keon Coleman and a similar body type and skill set to Keon Coleman, I think it really makes a lot of sense for the Buffalo Bills to continue to add to this wide receiver crew. Now, I get it, right? Mac Hollins, Chase Claypool, Curtis Samuel, Keon Coleman, like all these faces that we brought in, MVS. I mean, there's just so many guys that we brought into this wide receiver crew, but I don't think it's a bad idea to bring in Micheal Thomas. You could see here that Micheal Thomas's asking price has even gone down significantly. And, obviously wanting a lot more, maybe not getting the money that he thought he would get. So the Bills should be able to get him for a very realistic price. And again, Ronald Curry coaching him up. You could see Ronald Curry and the Bills' offensive coordinator Joe Brady were on Sean Payton's Saints coaching staff from 2017 to 2018, and Brady was the offensive assistant for 2 years, and Curry was an offensive assistant in 2017 and also a wide receiver coach in 2018, which proves, yes, like he's our quarterback coach, but he has a wealth of information on the wide receiver side, also playing that in college as well. So I really think this makes a ton of sense for the Buffalo Bills to bring in Micheal Thomas to be paired with Josh Allen, and just seeing ultimately what this is all going to present for Bills Mafia. Having a guy like this, Micheal Thomas, having someone is really, really in depth of the game, working alongside Joe Brady, we're going to need a flow of communication from offensive coordinator Joe Brady to the quarterback coach, to the wide receiver coach, to the offensive line coach. Like, this really boils down to just working in unison and figuring this all out. Now, I get it, right? A lot of other faces on this team, Chase Claypool, Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, Curtis Samuel, MVS. I mean, there's just a lot of guys that we brought in this offseason, even Mac Hollins too. But we always say it, like, competition brings out the best. And if we bring in these guys, maybe Mac Hollins doesn't make it. Maybe Chase Claypool, although was rumored to be the most consistent during off-season workouts, maybe he gets injured, or maybe it doesn't work out anymore, right? So I think what we need to do is really focus in on bringing in talent that's willing to come to Buffalo to make the Buffalo Bills better. And you consider the losses that the Bills have had offensively here, especially with Stephon Diggs. I mean, that's a big-time loss, a go-to wide receiver for Josh Allen the past several years. Micheal Thomas setting the NFL franchise record for 149 receptions in a single season under Ronald Curry, under Joe Brady. And a similar offense that I think we're going to see here is Sean Payton in the New Orleans Saints. And you pair that with Josh Allen, a much better quarterback to me, I think, and extending plays. I really think Micheal Thomas would be an ideal fit for the Buffalo Bills in 2024. And some other thoughts here too is just the overall fact that, Micheal Thomas is a veteran. He has a ton of experience, and he's going to help develop a similar skill set and body type to Keon Coleman. And I really think Keon Coleman can learn quite a bit. I think Keon Coleman is still a rookie. There's only so much you could really depend on rookies, and I'll say college definitely progresses the wide receiver position a lot more than other positions just because of the spread offense. And I think there's a lot of wide receivers that are entering the NFL much more pro-ready, NFL-ready than other positions just because of the experience and the reps that they get, creating those memorable moments on the football field. So I think Keon Coleman is definitely going to be ready to go. But we saw it. Even Dalton Kincaid. I mean, Dalton Kincaid was targeted quite a bit out of the tight end spot in college, and he still had a transition. So that transition, whether it's halfway through the season or maybe towards the end of the season, if Keon Coleman takes a little bit more time to develop, you're still betting on half of the season, right, of gambling a little bit on that first half or that lag time to get him up to speed. So bringing in a Micheal Thomas to supplement that loss, bringing in a Chase Claypool and MVS to supplement that loss, knowing that Micheal Thomas has had injuries in the past, MVS, all these guys, Chase Claypool, like they've been hindered with injuries in the past, but they come to Buffalo and they work in a rotation, similar to what we did with Emmanuel Sanders and Gabe Davis years ago, right? Similar with what we did with rotating guys in and mixing in on the outside. So I'm really loving this. I think Micheal Thomas would be an excellent fit for the Buffalo Bills, having familiarity with Ronald Curry, with Joe Brady, having a much better quarterback here, and Josh Allen, just being in the depth of things with this really deep wide receiver crew. Also, his value's gone down, and we should be able to get him for a great price. But I appreciate you guys all so much. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit like, subscribe for future content. That's how you support me for creating videos just like this. Also, check the links in the description. I started a full-time job with Course Careers. You guys get to get started in tech sales, accounting, digital advertising. They have a whole wealth of different certificates online, and they're networked with employers where you don't even need to send out your resume. They'll literally reach out to you and find you a job. So I really highly suggest checking that out. You can receive $50 off using my link or sign up to their free introduction courses. Appreciate you guys. Hit like, subscribe, and go Bills.